Okay, we got a bandsaw table project. I have a lot of it, got pretty far through this, and I just figured maybe now I'll just record a little bit of what I have going on. I got, let's see, break this down a little bit here. I got a bandsaw table. It's from not a very good casting, actually. I don't know, I understand why they really didn't do a very good job of machining that top, but a friend of mine has this, and when he bought it, it was used. It spilled off the truck, and he lost the fence system, and it was pretty bad, shabby anyway. So he asked me if I could put something together for him. So that's kind of what I've been working on here. These are some 3/8 spacers here. What I'm going to do, my plan, this is 1 1/4 by 1 1/4 steel tubing. That's going to be the fence, or the guide on the front of the table. And then the original mounting holes were off the bottom. You have one pivot here, and then you had 2 here. This one was, well, actually it should be proper here. That is the pivot. This is the adjustment. You move this in and out to pull that fence in and out to adjust that. I don't know if it's necessary. I would think that you could line it up or maybe do the adjustment through here. I'm just duplicating what he had. Maybe later on we put a plate over that, maybe make it just non-adjustable. I also read, doing a little research before I built this, that bandsaws, if you have the fence pretty close to straight on with the blade, it's going to cut straight because the curve in the blade is wider than the blade. And it'll follow how the wood goes through, not so much if you have it parallel to the blade. So a lot of it has to do with proper saw setup. So most people have trouble cutting with their bandsaw. I find out it looks like it has a lot, about 80 to 90% to do with the saw blade setup, the proper blade, the way the wheels are aligned, all the other business, as opposed to the fence on one of these, as opposed to a circular saw, because the curve is, on the back side of the blade coming up. If you go through the blade crooked, you're gonna hit the wood on the back side. So that's a whole other ball game there. Okay, so enough of that. That's the plan. Number 10 screws, gonna hold that on. This is the rig we got here. This is how far I got with this. Let me turn it around. What we're working on here is, this is the original fence casting. You can see it down here. I know I have everything, but I'm not gonna tear it apart. And we have a piece of 2 inch by 2 inch 1/4 inch angle iron. Plan is to drill and countersink for 2 1/4 20 screws. I have countersunk screws, some old school. Wish I had Allen, but I don't, and I have these, and I'm not buying 2. I can make that work. Put that in there, get some Loctite, be done. That's going to go in there. I have to countersink them yet. I just drilled them out enough that I'm going to go over to now I have this aligned, I have it squared with the angle plate here. I'm going to go over to the mill, set that up on the mill, and run 2 holes down in there. Then run tap drill size, tap them out, and that should be that part. Then there's going to be a clamping mechanism that's going to come off of this. I haven't worked on that yet, but I'm thinking about that, where you push the lever down and it takes an off-center, an eccentric wheel, I guess, and turns it against there for clamping force. I'm going to look at that after I get this part done. So yeah, that should pretty much do that, take us through that part of the build, and then we'll come back and get a little more done. All right, we got the holes tapped, 1/4 20, countersunk on there, shortened up 2 screws, so we're good there. So we got that part done. I test fit, works good. Checked it for square with the angle block, we were good. I think we're okay. So now we're going to move on to, I like to weld outside. because I don't have, I'm going to have to use flux core. Ugh. But that's what I have right now. So I'll do that outside. So I'm going to weld, that needs welded up. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I've got to shorten this up. Just grab it. That's how, right there is a line. Now you can see that's roughly where the table, that's the distance from the table to the bottom, which if you look here, that's where I have those pads welded on, or where the pads will weld on and bolt to the bottom of the table. So I'm going to cut that metal off a little on, just a little shy of the, on the other side of the line. That'll give me enough, room for that to move freely. So that's my, I'll just do that at the, probably just bandsaw that off. It's not a critical thing, and then clean it up. Okay, so we have just made up a few of these, like extra thick washers. They're going to be for over on the, if you can see that, maybe I can move this around a little bit. On the table over here in the corner. So I got slide right down, but that's right there is what I got right so far. Okay, so I'm going to take and I'm going to weld here and here, flip it over, do the same thing. That should finish that off. I got this shortened up. As you can see, I took, if you look at the end, cut that off with a bandsaw, then ran it through the milling machine, drew it up, and belt sanded everything. That should fit perfectly on there, on this side, underneath there. But okay, so that part's done. Now the lock. If I can come up with the lock, then I'll be prepared for tomorrow to take this, set this outside and weld up. Okay, we have all the parts done. Okay, let's review. We've got the fence, and we made the bracket for the fence. What I have here is a set screw here and the collar. Let me get a wrench. I'll show you what that's about. That is, the idea of that is so when you put the crank in, which I put a brass nub on the end, or so when it tightens against the rail, it won't mar it. So the idea is you put this in, and then when you go to tighten it down, if you'd end up like this, you wouldn't want that. So the idea is you can loosen that set screw, and you can turn the collar until tight is the arm, out of the way. That was the idea of that. And of course, if you booger up those threads, you just be able to pop that out and make a new collar. So that would work. The other component, which I showed previously, is the square tubing with the mounting tabs. Let's see, what else do we make here? Maybe I didn't show. Made some extra thick washers that will go on the bottom here to hold this on. Like I mentioned the first time, this end is a pivot end, and these two, this end here, opened up. So you'll be able to, if you have to change the blade, you can just loosen up these two. Of course, gravity will be your friend with these round, with the washers, and they'll fall down on the bolt head, and you'll be able to slide the back in after you change out the blade. That's the plan. And then of course you might need to square that up. That's a number. This is a number 10. Luckily I had these. I don't know why, but they fit, and because it's a metric thread. So this was a foreign made bandsaw. Okay, so take that, flip it over. This thing is heavy. There we are. That's the table. It's magnetized too, which I think is, it's like a big horseshoe magnet. Now what I can do is I can put this on, or I'm hitting the table. So let me see if I can move this over to the edge and see if that's still in the picture. It's not, but okay, we can get it there. Okay. So what you do is you go and when you tighten it down, there it is. Snug down, it's not moving at all. Locked down to the table, sits down nice. This is flush across here. The wood will just right across that. Shouldn't be a problem. To park it, I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I guess you could take it over to here and you could park it off the table. Might be good to make something here, but I mean, it's good. Or, I mean, just loosen it up and lift it off. I mean, not that big of a deal. If I go over to here, and I'm good. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's just what you want. So, okay, well, that's that build. Thanks for watching.